there guys, it's Joey and this is my witchy vlog of the week with Witchling Love, with this oracle card, the energies and so on and so forth. The generalised meanings are in the connecting to video, but to recap, it's about the energy of love flowing through you and from you, as well as, sort of, in my opinion anyway, the jester image. The jester acting the fool, but was usually intellectual and witty and spoke in riddles, but always told the truth. The duality, the balance. I discussed musings on love in some depth, so that covered that aspect of this week. So we're going to go through some of my notes, my week with the oracle card. So the first are 3 quotes. The first one is from Do It Girl. She's an Avalonian earth priestess, a divine feminine crusader, and she's perfect just the way great goddess made her. So the beginning and the very first message was very much about self-love, and there would be an undertone of that all week. The next 2 quotes are from Women Who Run with Wolves. Sometimes the people around you won't understand your journey. They don't need to, it's not for them. Be soft, kind and loving, but also take nobody's shit. And that's kind of being true to yourself. That element of self-love, but being true to yourself. And I'd been feeling a little bit disconnected at the beginning of the week, and actually came about full circle. The energy of this card actually helped me to reconnect spiritually. Been a lot of stress over the week. The hay fever is still kicking my ass, the heat is still kicking my ass, and the love card really did help me just to reconnect, rebalance. In part and parcel at the beginning of the week with some of the work I was doing, I saw dragonflies twice, and they were as I was conducting work, and they were a very good omen of prosperity, good luck, strength, peace, harmony and purity. The black copal resin and amber resin arrived this week. Black copal in Peru, black copal is used for attracting good spirits and displacing the evil ones. It can help to eliminate negative visions, thoughts and depression. It animates, revitalizes and protects, also called night copal because it is said to carry the secret energies of the night. It's supposedly the heaviest fragrance of all the copals. Peaceful and grounding, helps people to reconnect with their deepest soul purpose and inner spirit. It's best known in Mexico as an incense burnt for the Day of the Dead. Relates to Leo, Aries and Sagittarius, element of fire ruled by the sun. Amber resin is an emotional balancer, healing, meditation, nectar of the gods. At the beginning of the week I'd been focused on prosperity and divination, and I was beginning to wonder if, how that tied in. I suppose it can be argued that love is a backdrop to prosperity, work and things, as couples standing strong together in times of financial hardship and difficulty is a sign of something solid. It's not romantic particularly, it's not sexual, and it's a stressful turn of events, but couples that stand together through the hard times are the ones that actually are meant to stay together. Most likely, obviously, there are no guarantees. And those that sort of give up on the partner but in hard times, obviously the love isn't real, and there's been an element of that this week as well, and in my memories, and I'll talk about that. Should we talk about that now? Is there anything else that needs to come before we talk about that? No, we can talk about that now. Okay, so I'd been having a couple of dreams about my first ex, and I actually spoke about him in the Musing About Love video, how he was the first real love that I just loved without abandon, I guess. Loved without boundary or walls or anything like that. And I just loved him for who he was, completely and utterly. And he was Christian. I'm pretty sure he's still Christian, I don't know. But a part of me, when I was younger and all through growing up until the last time we split up, had always believed he was the one. And I thought that he was the one I would end up with, sort of thing. And so I'd been having these dreams about him again, and it was really pissing me off, excuse my French, but it really, really was. And I was like, I don't want to be dreaming about him anymore. And I sort of had to sit and talk to myself about what was going on with me. And I was like, because he's moving on, and I've moved on. And I realised that perhaps it was part of losing a final part of my sort of innocent, childlike, open-hearted, dreaming love dreams, I guess. And it was just like a final nail in the coffin of the girl who once was, and I was mourning that. The fact that he basically made my heart break in a way I have very rarely felt since it almost felt like an act of betrayal, because my heart was so open with that person. Let's call him C for easiness. C for Christian. That's not his name. And so I was having these dreams, and I was talking to myself yesterday, like the nutters do, and I was like, it's okay to feel the pain of the loss of it again, because it is difficult for me, given that I had my childhood ripped away from me, and I first fell in love with him when I was at tender age, 14? 13? And he'd been a part of my life right up until 5-6 years ago. He was still in contact until earlier this year, where he informed me that I must have realised he was with someone now, like I was, spying on his wall and keeping an eye on him, which I wasn't. And that final sort of phrase from him was like enough for me. I was like, enough. No, I do not sit here and wonder what you're doing. And it was just, yeah. So it's okay to mourn that sort of loss of innocent love and sort of embrace what love has become. Perhaps the loss of romantic ideals as well. You think that love is going to be all-consuming, passionate, fixes everything, happily ever after, like we're fed from pretty much birth, and it just doesn't happen that way. It's not realistic, unfortunately. And we have to find a balance between, this is romantic love, obviously, a balance between real life and some of that as well. So this week I got some more crystals, some pyrite, excellent energy shield, blocks out negative energy and pollutants at all levels, including infectious diseases. Positive stone overcomes inertia and feelings of inadequacy, facilitates tapping into abilities and potential flowing of ideas. Once placed on a desk, it helps energize the area around it, helpful when planning business concepts, helps you see behind a facade, promoting diplomacy, relieving anxiety, frustration, as well as boosting self-confidence and self-worth. I've actually been working with it a lot this week and been enjoying its energy. It's one of those crystals which I didn't feel very drawn to. I thought, I kind of look at gold in general and think of it as being a bit ostentatious, and I've been getting over that in recent weeks. It's taken me a while. Then some orthoeclase, which I haven't actually worked with yet. Rejuvenation, hope, new beginnings, better perception, discernment. Useful for relieving tension. Stone of cooperation, group work, encouraging finding unconventional paths towards achieving our goals. Encouraging growth, planning and forward thinking. Merlinite, the magician stone, energy shaper and magic. Holds the imprint of the combined knowledge of shaman, the alchemist, the magician priests and other workers of magic. Its dual colouring blends the spirituality and earthly vibrations together, giving access to the spiritual and shamanic realms. Supports shamanic practices or magical ritual. Facilitates reading the Akashic records, inducing travel into past future lives to gain insight, brings magic into your life. Very much associated with the magician card, for me anyway, in the tarot, particularly the wild unknown. Ocean jasper, a stone of renewal, strength, connected to Atlantis. It holds mystical knowledge within it. It helps you to reclaim wisdom when you meditate with it, assisting in reframing, transmuting, and stopping the misuse of spiritual power at any time. This stone teaches us of power and will. Helpful for healers, counsellors, etc. That helps with loving yourself and others whilst remaining objective. The swirling patterns symbolise the interconnectedness of all things, a reminder that nature is cyclical, rhythmical and fluid. And I love that. I loved that this week. And Natalie had a video about her circle casting, and that was about the interconnectedness in that as well, and that was so beautiful. The moss agate pendulum, warriors agate, money, work, stabilising stone connected to nature, refreshing the soul, wealth, abundance, new beginnings, release from harm and release from blockages. Right, okay. Midweek I was engaging with some earthwork, and I sat down at my earthwork, which is upstairs in my house, because I can't really do it outside. It's the landlord's property and they're out there all hours of the night, especially in summer, and I just couldn't. It's not private at all. And so it's up here, and I came upstairs into the second floor of my house, sat down, I had bare legs, and as I sat down I felt this twitch on my leg, looked down and there's another grasshopper on my leg on the second floor of my house. How it got there, beyond, I have no idea. I gently moved him downstairs and put him outside, because I saved one last week from the recycling bin, so it was the second grasshopper in as many weeks. We were quite close to each other, because I think the other grasshopper was late last week and this was early this week. Just gone. Prosperity, the jumping off point, the sort of, they're very good luck. And that's how I associated it, that, you know, very good luck in terms of prosperity and things of that nature. Okay, a couple more quotes, 3 in fact on this page. First one again from Do It Girl, who I love this Facebook page. If you're waiting for anything in order to live and love without holding back, then you suffer. Every moment is the most important moment of your life. No future time is better than now to let down your guard and love. A.M. Galdecraft. She was a mystery even unto herself, a wild girl of the forest, born of magic and raised by spirits, a trusted sister of the sea, sea being S-I-D-H-E, which is Fae. Clan custodian of beast and bird, nature sang to her, naming her a green witch. Love her work. And then mine, I am flawed, but I'm trying. Joanne Morris, 2014. There are quite a few quotes actually. Let's talk about my flawed one. So I shared this on Facebook, and it's not a detriment Like, some people seem to think it was me being detrimental towards myself, saying I was flawed. And I don't actually think of it as being detrimental. I think as it being part and parcel of being human, and the trying bit being all that we can actually do. And I think that is basically, for me, a simple truth of being human, that I am flawed and I am trying. So the next quote is by Wendell Berry. To go in the dark with a light is to know the light. To know the dark, go dark. Go without sight and find the dark too blooms and sings and is travelled by dark feet and dark wings. En Maharaj, the mind creates the abyss, the heart crosses it. And then this is my sort of poetry, I guess, during most 2014. Rights reserved. Love is darkness, it does not require sight. Love is light, it illuminates from within. Love is natural, it flows from earth and tree and sky. Love is astral, it is home among the stars. I explain that at length in the Muses video, so... I've been called rebellious, wrong, a black sheep, different, because I refuse to be what everyone else is, rebel circus. That's kind of flowing back to me dealing with being rejected by the guy that I loved openly for not being what he wanted me to be. And I've had that happen to me on more than one occasion, that because you don't fit into their box, because you're not happy all the time or fluffy all the time or I'm so upbeat all the time, la 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 la. I've been through a lot, you know, and I can't pretend to be anything other than who I am, and I am flawed, like I said, so those people aren't worthy of our love, of course, but it doesn't feel like that at the time. As you may need to change your circle of friends. Everyone around you isn't interested in seeing you improve. lessonslearnedinlife.com. Oh, I did note about the X. Okay, well, have I covered everything that I wrote down here? Perhaps it was the fact I loved him with such wildness, such honestly, fearlessly and completely, and in return I felt so betrayed by him. However, the quote by Marilyn Monroe, "If you can't handle me at my worst, you sure as hell don't deserve me at my best," plays through my mind. There's been a lot of eye imagery, close-up pictures this week. The final one with the quote, "What you don't see, ask your soul to see." And then I noted from the Musing of Love video, the symbiotic nature of divine love. We need to be so loving in our lives, to give freely, to act with love, in order to be the mirror reflection of the divine by whom we are so loved. Then there is the spell work, which has been going up this week. It's going up right now, it should be up by now. The number 2, of course, being important for the duality aspect, and the Heather Ogham tying into this, of course, as well as Merlinite coming up again. I'd been feeling quite and sort of got at and icky, and I had this very strong meditation last night whereby the Morrigan took my hand and opened my hand, and arrows flew from my hand and destroyed whatever was negatively hanging around. It was beautiful. It was a reconnection with Morrigan again, you know, her taking care of me. And people are gonna be like, what? The Morrigan doesn't take care of you, you have to take care of yourself. No. And that's exactly one of the misconceptions. The divine loves us, and the Morrigan loves her daughters. She takes care of her daughters. She protects her daughters when they need it. She requires a lot from them, and she does require that you stand on your own 2 feet and fight back and stuff. But she has never let me down when I need her. I'm going to finish up with a song lyric from Curly Stardust. And then I feel only love. What's been has gone, and I'll be one, one with the wind and sky above, till I become, till I become. Many blessings.